Yeah, well, I like art. I work in a gas station. My best friend is a tomboy. These things don't fly too well in the American high school.
I didn't know about this.
Welcome to Shermer High. I'm Kristen.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Carol.
And we rewatch movies from the 80s to determine, did that age well? This week's movie is Some Kind of Wonderful.
Join us as we discuss Keith's lackluster romantic decisions, Watts dressing like a lost member of a ska band, and the rich kids that are so evil that they might as well be on the Epstein list.
Grab your diamond earrings, fall in love with your best friend accidentally, and gas up your classic Mini Cooper. Because this episode is some kind of chaotic, emotionally scattered 80s wonderfulness. Or is it? This is the Shermer High Alumni Association.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Janine.
Janine.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hello. Hello. Happy New
So-
Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This is our actual first episode we're recording in the new year.
In 2026.
I just want to pay homage to Adam the Woo. That has rocked the entire vlogger YouTube community. And we're still very, very shaken by it. And prayers are going out to his mom and dad, Jim and June, and his sister Faith. And that we all take something from Adam and continue those adventures moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to say that because we've talked about him in
Yep.
past episodes and he was a part of my daily life. I know
We
that.
really, yeah, mine too. We really wanted him on our podcast.
I know.
And we will be future talking about him as well.
We will.
Yeah.
Well, you're right.
Just makes you realize how precious life is, like that it could be just gone in a second.
Yeah. I mean,
Word.
truly. And it was felt by so many people. I have started, it's not going to post until like later this month, but in the forums, and I will move on from this, but a lot of people had a lot of questions about how do we carry this forward? How do we do these adventures like Adam? And so on my travel YouTube, I'm going to do short form videos of how Adam traveled. I'm trying to come up with a way to do that without making it about Adam's content or his likelihood, his likeness, but for people who loved him and to know how he traveled and how you can too. And so I'm breaking down his videos of like, he did this and he did this, and this is why he did this. Like, why did he take out money at an ATM in an airport in Rome? Like, things like that, like teaching people, this is how you can travel. How did he get into a hotel room at 9 a.m? Stuff like that. So that's the way I feel like I can honor him, is help educate without monetizing, without any of that, those who want to go and have adventures like him.
Yes.
You know what was not adventurous?
What?
Some Kind of Wonderful.
That's
No,
true.
it didn't take you on a wonderful adventure.
No, and I don't even know. And I'm sure we'll talk about it, but it's okay. So this was Pretty in Pink too. Just rearrange the characters a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I probably liked this movie.
Literally, it is.
It is, and I think John Hughes may have addressed that. I think this was a better story.
I agree. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Agreed.
It's not without its major criticisms. I definitely have those, but we'll talk about it when we get into the scenes.
Some Kind of Wonderful is about a blue collar teen named Keith who goes out with the popular girl Amanda Jones, a girl he has always dreamed of dating. Her ex-boyfriend plots revenge on him, while Keith's tomboy best friend Watts realizes she has feelings for Keith. It was a very
Tale as old as
tight-
time.
Yes, very tight synopsis there.
Yeah. So who's in this movie?
We have Eric Stoltz, who was born September 30th of 1961 in Whittier, California. He was raised in Santa Barbara. He went to the University of Southern California and studied drama, and he dropped out his junior year to move to New York City in 1981 to pursue film and television roles. Upon doing this, director Cameron Crowe and him became friends, and Stoltz later appeared in his first feature film, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
This is brilliant.
Yes.
He was then casted in each of Crowe's next 4 films, which were The Wildlife, Say Anything, Singles, and Jerry Maguire.
Mm.
And we've gone over this before, but he was originally casted as Marty McFly.
Yep.
But his view of the movie clashed with that director, Robert Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis.
Zemeckis. Blah, 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 blah. And while Back to the Future had become a sci-fi comedy and an box office hit, Stoltz had read the script from a more serious angle, focusing on the more tragic consequences of going back to live a life that was not one's own. And then 5 weeks into shooting, Zemeckis replaced Stoltz with Michael J. Fox. But I digress. Stoltz had then appeared in Pulp Fiction, and he went on to produce 3 films. He appeared on and off Broadway and was nominated for a Tony Award for featured actor for his performance as George Gibbs in the 1989 Broadway revival of Thornton Wilder's Our Town.
I didn't know that.
He went on in the 90s with a recurring role in the television show Mad About You and Chicago Hope, and he was a regular director for the show Glee. He has been married since 2005. And fun fact, he was 25 at the time of filming this.
Oh yeah,
So
everyone was
here
a
we're
full
getting
ass
into
adult. Everyone was a full
Yeah.
ass
all of them.
movie. Yeah.
All of them. All of
Yeah.
them besides Cameron.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
We have Mary Stuart Masterson, who was born on June 28th of 1966 in LA. And as a teenager, she attended the Stage Door Manor Performing Arts Training Center in upstate New York with actors like Robert Downey Jr. and John Cryer. And later she attended schools in New York, including 8 months studying anthropology at New York University. Masterson's first film appearance was in The Stepford Wives in 1975 at the age of 8, playing a daughter to her real-life father.
He was an actor.
I guess.
Yeah.
Masterson was in Some Kind of Wonderful, Fried Green Tomatoes, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and Bed of Roses. Masterson appeared in Broadway theater productions, and in 2020, she appeared in a starring role in the first season of the legal drama For Life. In 2023, she appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's. She has been married 3 times, and she has 4 children. And she was 20 at the time of the filming.
She was the youngin' out of the crew.
Sure.
The
Right?
adults.
Yeah, all being seniors in high school. And then we have our famous Lea Thompson, who we have gone over 5 million times.
Yeah.
But just a little snippet. Her famous role is of Lorraine Baines McFly in the Back to the Future trilogy, which was the first film released in 1985. In 1986, she starred in Space Camp and Howard the Duck. Rounding out film appearances in the 80s, she starred in Some Kind of Wonderful, Casual Sex, and Wizard of Loneliness. She found some moderate critical and popular success as the star of the NBC sitcom Caroline in the City from 95 to 99.
We also have Craig Sheffer, who was born April 23rd of 1960 in York, Pennsylvania. He attended East Stroudsburg University of Pennsylvania for 2 years on a sports scholarship, playing baseball and football until he sustained a knee injury. He dropped out in 1980 to pursue his acting career. He is known for his starring roles as Hardy Jens in Some Kind of Wonderful, Aaron Cable Boone in Nightbreed, Norman McLean in A River Runs Through It, and Keith Scott on the television series One Tree Hill. He was 26 at the time of filming.
Good Lord. You know,
Yeah, no
there's tons
shit he
of 26-year-olds that can just,
You could totally
really-
tell he was older.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, like he was really supposed to be passing for an 18-year-old.
We were watching this. I was rewatching
Yep.
it today. And Angela was like, is this his house? Is this? I was like, no, he's a teenager. No, he's not. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. That's his
Yeah.
parents' house, supposedly.
And then we have John Ashton, who was born February 22nd of 48, and he passed away September 26th of 2024 at the age of 76 due to cancer. He was born in Springfield, Massachusetts, and attended Defiance College in Ohio. He starred as Detective Sergeant John Taggart in the first 2 installments of Beverly Hills Cop, alongside Eddie Murphy and Judge Reinhold. He appeared in 2024's Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. He passed away 2 months after the premiere, and he was 39 at the time of filming, which
Really?
I think is pretty young compared to what he was. I'm sure they made him look older because he was only 13 years older than frickin' Hardy
Right.
Yeah. That's weird.
and Eric Stoltz.
Right.
He was only 14 years older than him.
Wow.
We saw cameos by Candace Cameron Bure and Trina Phillips in here.
I think that Candace Cameron's role in this, and I'm not going to talk about Candace Cameron Bure today because that's a whole other
No.
ball. Yeah. But her lines in
That's-
this movie were golden,
Oh, they're epic.
On point.
on point.
For a
She's
10-year-old,
absolutely.
they were
This is her best
they were
role.
awesome.
Sorry, this is just her best role from her
Yes.
entire career. I'm
Yeah.
just going to lay that out there.
Yes.
And playing with the garbage pail kids and everything, like just brilliant. And then putting together like China Phillips, because she was with Joe in Say Anything,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
She's a John Hughes groupie.
yeah, no line roles,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you don't get a line. You can be in this film, but you do not get to speak.
Just sit there and look pretty.
Just
Right, exactly.
yeah, just be on a guy's arm and be blonde.
Yep. So we also have Howard Deutsch, the director, who was born on September 14th of 1950. He was born in New York City and he attended Ohio State University, possibly with our dad.
the
Yes.
Ohio State
The
University.
Ohio State University. So he directed Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful with John Hughes. He also directed Grumpier Old Men, The Odd Couple 2, and The Whole 10 Yards. He went on to direct television productions including Getting On and True Blood. Deutsch and Lea Thompson started dating after filming Some Kind of Wonderful, and they got married in 1989 and are still married today with 2 daughters.
I love that.
That's great.
You don't see that too much.
Although I did see a kind of side note about all these paintings that he had made of her during the filming. And the one painting that's in the museum was one of the ones that he had made of her because he was so infatuated with her.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was what, 24 35 at filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been
So he was
51.
36.
Wait, what?
No, they're only 11 years apart.
Oh, 11 years apart. Oh, okay.
So not horrible.
Yeah. I guess there were 10 paintings that he had of her.
During the filming of this?
Yes.
Well, we'll get to that, but the filming of this wasn't very long.
Yeah.
Jeez, it interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was written by our boy, John Hughes.
John Wilden Hughes Jr. We've gone over him multiple times.
Yeah, we're not.
Good.
They weren't happy with the ending of the previous collaboration of Pretty in Pink. In the script in the original cut of the film, Andy, who was played by Molly Wald, wound up with her best friend Ducky, John Cryer. Test audiences disliked that ending, however, so a new ending was shot where Andy wound up with Blaine. With some kind of wonderful, Hughes decided to retell the story, with the sexes of the main characters switched. And Hughes named the three main protagonists, Keith, Watts, and Amanda Jones, as an inside joke tribute to the Rolling Stones, Keith Richards, Charlie Watts, and the Stones song Miss Amanda Jones, respectively. And Hughes wanted Ringwald to play the female lead role of Watts, but she declined in order to pursue a more adult role. She also thought that the character of Amanda seemed too similar to the character she played in The Breakfast Club. Hughes took this refusal personally, and it led to the end of Hughes's and Ringwald's working relationship.
Hughes is a bitch. Like
He
you let
is.
a young girl's decision to move on in her already typecasted roles and decide just to end a business relationship over that.
Right.
Yeah, that was
Asshole.
dumb.
Yeah. So the filming of this began August 11th, 1986 and ended October of 86. 2 months?
Yeah.
I was counting on my fingers. And September, yeah. It was released February 27th of 1987. I could not find an actual official budget recorded, but it is predicted to be said to be in the single digit millions, just like the prior films. And it has grossed 18.9 million. It was shot in Los Angeles in the summer of 86, and the locations include San Pedro High School, Hancock Park, and the Hollywood Bowl. So this is not based in Chicago like most.
No. I'm trying to pull this up on a map because we're going down there tomorrow. I'm wondering if we can drive by some of these places.
You want to go to San Pedro High School?
I'm just seeing if it's near where we're going to be. We're going to be in Burbank, and I'm not going south of that. But we get to go to Aldi.
Whatever.
Sorry, total digression, but I'm very excited. I get to go to Aldi.
Aw,
I'm excited for
I
you.
love that
Aren't
for
you?
you.
I know. I'm so excited.
What are you looking forward to getting?
Popcorn.
Just anything or anything in particular?
It's hard to
They have a lot of
say.
fun stuff.
It is
Yeah,
a-
and down the aisle of shame.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Let's
Okay.
get into it.
Back to the movie.
Cozy Earth's products are a favorite among celebrities. Kris Jenner praises their bamboo sheets as her nightly essential, raving about their softness and cooling comfort. For 7 consecutive years, Oprah has included Cozy Earth on her favorite things list. And the brand has been featured on Good Morning America, InStyle, and Better Homes and Gardens. Personally, I have 2 of their nightshirts, one for winter and one for summer. And I also have their airplane set, which I'm actually wearing right now. And I cannot recommend them enough. Customers echo this love with thousands of 5-star reviews describing the sheets as buttery soft and the PJs as ultimate cozy. With free shipping on orders over $50 and a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, Cozy Earth will bring lasting luxury and comfort into your home. Enjoy an exclusive discount with our promo code SHAPODCAST, SHAA podcast, over at CozyEarth.com. You'll receive 41% off your order by using our exclusive discount code. By doing this, you help support the pod, and we may earn a small commission. So we open this movie with a musical segment. We see that Watts is playing the drums. Keith is at work. Amanda's having some sex. That's pretty much the intro of this movie. And Keith's walking home, and he walks in front of a train, and he comes in the back door of his house, and that's where you see Cindy playing with her Garbage Pail Kids, which was adorable.
Epic.
But and this is going to be a theme throughout this movie, is that I feel like there are lines delivered in this movie that make absolutely no sense. They're like completely nonsensical, have nothing to do with anything. And one of them is Cindy. It was funny, but it was like, why are you saying this? You're flapping your lips in vain.
It was like they had to use filler sentences or something.
Yeah. And there are so many lines in this movie where it was like, what does that have to do with anything? It was like, that blue barn is uphill. It made just things that just made no sense. Keith's going in, he's dirty, obviously going up to his room, take a shower, and his dad calls him down, and the dad is like super invested in Keith going to college. This is his life's mission, is to make sure that Keith goes to college, because nobody else did in his family. Keith gets up to his room, and his sister Laura is sitting in his room. She must have figured out how to break into his room, because he must have kept it locked. And he kicks her out of the room, and she's just kind of like screaming.
She's going through his vinyls.
Which are back in again, right?
So that's a big no-no. Don't touch the vinyls.
And she was like, I want the song about the guy, which I thought was funny. I liked Laura. I liked that sister. I liked her role. I felt like it was I really just liked her role. It felt very authentic to me, how she's like super embarrassed by her brother, but she's also trying to impress her friends, and it's all very vulnerable stuff. So I do Laura, but we see them at dinner, and she's like complaining to the mom, look at this bruise, da, da, da. If I wanted to lay out, I couldn't. And Cindy with the lines coming in with you shouldn't be laying out anyway, because basically you're going to end up looking like an albino raisin. And then it just immediately
She's so funny.
I know, it's so funny. And then and immediately Laura brings it back to Keith. You guys don't understand what it's like having the weirdest guy in high school as your brother. And I find that impossible to believe, considering how many people we're about to see at this high school, that Keith's the weirdest.
Yeah, no,
Because
definitely
he seems real kind of even keel to me.
not.
Anyway, so it's the next day, and you see this tiny little baby car kind of just zooming into a parking lot, which, Carol, you said is a Mini Cooper, one of the original Mini Coopers.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And from Europe. So you note that the steering wheel is on the wrong side of the car. And they're just bantering back and forth. And it's very reminiscent of Ducky and Andy. This kind of not sexual, but this, aren't I amazing? What would you do without me? I'm the most important person to you. Like this sort of weird
The grandeur.
this male female dynamic of the friend, right? The friend. So they get into school and they're walking in, and Duncan raises his leg, and Keith is he does like weird French request to get past Duncan's leg. If I'm interpreting this wrong, tell me. But
No.
and then Duncan immediately just kind of starts ragging on Watts. Like, how long have you been a lesbian? And this interchange is just so weird. Like, you got enough up front that you're not a dude. So it's this play on the tomboy, right? You didn't see a lot of the tomboy in these 80s films. And I know that Mary Stuart Masterson, I believe this role was really lauded for sort of bringing this tomboy role out. But like, she says sort of the same line back to him like 3 times. And it was like excessive. It just felt excessive.
Yeah, like I felt like she could have had some really killer comebacks, and she just kept saying,
Excuse me? What are you saying? Like,
Excuse me?
it just
Come
wasn't,
on, man. You could have done better than that.
it just wasn't intelligent. And it was a strange interaction. But that's our first exposure to Duncan, who obviously becomes very important later on. And we get to Keith. Keith's sitting in the library, and he's sitting a few tables away from Amanda and Hardy, her boyfriend. And he's sketching a photo of her. You see Amanda is trying to study, but like Hardy just kind of keeps touching her, which is so weird. It was just, to me, weird. Stop touching me.
No, get the fuck away.
And it's in this scene where I'm like, did Lea Thompson just make everyone let her wear camis? Because like, when is she not in a cami? But we can also go into the fashion in this, because I have never related to fashion more than I did in this movie.
Really?
Of anything we've seen so far. Seriously. And so Keith leaves. He's talking to Watts, and Watts says, I heard a rumor. I heard your dad's here. And he's in talking to the guidance counselor, who seems to know Keith, seems to know what he likes. And the dad's like, nope, business school. And this guidance counselor all right, yeah, whatever. And
yeah, no, he wants to go to art school.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to go to business school.
Yeah, he's more creatively inclined. And then you see the dad leaves, and you see him walking down, and he sees Laura in class asking a question, and he like knocks on the glass and is like waving, hi. Like, that was totally something dad would do.
Oh my God.
And she just like screams and then asks to go
bloody
at the
murder.
top of her lungs. And then
if
she
I was
asks
sitting next to her in that class, I would have been pissed.
Me too.
I know. But then
It
I
was
was like,
highly unnecessary.
yeah. Yeah.
And then she has to go to the nurse's office.
Right.
Yeah. Can I go to the nurse?
Jeez.
So then we see Hardy with Mia, who's played by China Phillips. He's kind of got her up against a locker, and Keith sees this interaction, and he's telling her trust. He says the same thing to both girls, and I'm trying to remember that exactly. You know, the trust is the basis of any relationship, but he says it to both of them, which was so cringy. And Amanda's walking up the hallway, and she sees him with this girl kissing her. And she gets all mad and flustered. And then he does this classic gaslight. Right? And I know we've used this term quite a bit in the past few movies. Well, maybe in just the past one movie. But how can you be so beautiful and so insecure at the same time? This is your problem.
Shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
This is
Birdie.
not
gross.
my problem because you're insecure. And he makes up some bullshit about this girl's brother or whatever, right? And he gives her a ring. Like, just has a fucking ring in his pocket. And he's like, here, I wanted to give you this. He believes he's going to go get the car or whatever. And Amanda notices Keith looking at her. And she just kind of smiles and walks away. Not even a smile. It's more of a smirk. And we see blah, blah. We see Keith. Keith's at work, working on a car, doing an oil change. And Watts is there with him. And he asks her opinion about Amanda Jones. And Watts refers to her as rat bait. And I didn't look that up.
Yeah, what does
But
that mean?
I was like, what does that mean? She's really trying to dissuade Keith from pursuing her. She's out of your league. She's no. And so I can't tell if this is meant to be an emerging love story or if she's like Ducky and has always been in love with him. Or it's something she comes to a realization to. I'm not sure. But she's really trying to dissuade him, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, Hardy pulls up. Is that a Corvette?
Yeah.
And he's just being like a total prick to Keith. Check the oil. Then he beeps the horn at him. He refers to Amanda as his property.
Yeah.
She tries to tell him to stop, and he's mind your own business. He's just a piece of shit.
Throat punch him.
I know. And then like he gives Keith money for doing the look at the oil, blah, blah, blah. And then he drives away and you see that Keith's kept the dipstick.
I love that.
Ah.
So then you see it's another day at school and Hardy and Amanda pull up to whatever, the sports fields at the school and drops her off. And she grabs a tennis racket. And so it seems to be the end of class, right? It seems to be the end of like a gym period. And so she just kind of filters into the crowd of girls, but she's picked out by the PE teacher. Tavia would hate that I refers to this as gym or gym teacher. I should not be saying that.
Yeah.
PE
Shout out to the gym teacher.
I know. No, shout out to the physical education teacher.
Our apologies.
So Amanda is given detention for 2 weeks. 2 weeks in the mornings. And
Damn.
Keith overhears this and his brilliant idea is, I'm going to get a detention too. So he goes and pulls the school fire alarm and then just stands next to it. And so he's given detention. So he shows up. He's all, yeah, I'm going to detention. Woo! And he shows up and it's all a Duncan and Duncan's crew. And there is no Amanda in sight. She has totally gotten out of it by flirting with the teacher. I don't know what his name was, but he like balding teacher, like middle-aged. She's touching his tie. She's being super gross. But through this detention, Duncan and Keith actually start to become friends, which is nice. Nice comparing.
Very nice.
Yeah, comparing their. I love Duncan.
Me too.
And then we're back in the women's locker room, and Watts. I've never seen so many women take a shower during a school day.
Yeah, and stand around like half naked because if I recall any point in high school where we had to change clothes in front of each other, everybody was being super modest, like trying to cover themselves up. You
Yeah.
weren't standing around in your underwear and your cami, brushing your hair. Like nobody was showing off their underwear to other people in the locker
No.
room.
But it's John Hughes. So.
And this is in every John Hughes film.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know
That's
if
probably how.
we didn't have it in Pretty in Pink, did we? We had Benny. Benny was in bra and underwear.
Yeah.
But this is the same kind of get up.
Carolyn was in the she
Yeah.
was what? Oh no, I'm sorry, that was breakfast. No, no, I gotcha.
16 candles.
16 candles.
Yeah, I think that's maybe how he imagines the locker room is. Like John Hughes is like John Hughes.
Yeah.
That
But
he's
then
like,
you've got Lea
ooh.
Thompson in the exact same like cami undie combo she wore in
Yeah.
Howard Duck.
That must just be her uniform.
Yeah. But it's so she must have really liked her upper arms because she wore just so many camis or like tanks. So anyway,
Yeah. Or maybe it was to show off the boobs.
Lea Thompson?
Maybe this was the 80s. So maybe it was like to show off like the cleavage.
I don't know.
Like to kind of show off like her bod.
Of course, but nobody else was doing it. So Watts is just kind of comparing herself to Amanda. And another girl from just like a whole other aisle over starts kind of making fun of her for
Are those boys,
boys'
underpants?
Like, I've never seen. Yeah, so I just don't remember this level of pettiness. I just don't.
Yeah,
Like,
me either.
I don't know. And I know that this is far from a documentary. So now it's like a Friday night, or so it's like a weekend night. You can kind of everybody's out. They're at some sort of like outdoor mall. I don't know what I was trying to see what it was called. It was like the Brick something that they were all hanging out at, and Amanda's with Shane. And I don't understand what it's like. Everybody has like boy names except Amanda. Amanda's with Shane, and she sees Hardy again with Mia. And this is it. I'm done. And she breaks up with him. And he's just basically, what are you going to do without me? You're nobody without me. What are you going to blah, blah, blah. And then just perfect timing or perfect stalkering. Keith is like, hey, Amanda, do you have a minute? And so Amanda goes kind of across this street to talk to Keith, and he asks her out. And Watts is like watching this interaction from afar. And I think for the new watcher, you'd be like, oh, she's like upset about this. Not mad, she's upset. And so Amanda agrees to go on the date with Keith. And she goes back over to Shane, and Shane's, what was that all about? He asked me on a date, what did you say? I said, yes, right in front of Hardy. The next day, you see what's her last name? Nelson?
I think so, yes.
I think it was.
The Keith family.
The Keith family. Yeah, it was the Nelsons. The Nelsons are all having this very picture perfect, like Saturday morning breakfast. They're all seated together, family style eggs and hash browns. And
how nice.
I know. And Keith is like smiling like a fool. And everyone's at the table is just kind of staring at him like, what is wrong with you? And Laura calls it out. She was like, there's a really like weird rumor going around that you're taking this girl out. And so.
Yeah, and kind of gives him like this, there's no way that's true. There's no way that you could go out with Amanda Jones. No way.
And so so now Laura knows that Keith is going out with Amanda Jones, right? Like the next week or whatever. We're back in school. I'm not going to go through every scene and every line, but Keith is back in. I just like this scene. I just like this scene. It's only worthy of note because, like, you get to the scene and Duncan's, this is what my girlfriend would look like without skin. And I just love that. I just love that. I'm like, so Ray, he's like this redheaded boy with a, I don't know,
A cap cut.
top cut. And he's sitting with Watts outside the school, and she's trying to basically make Keith jealous. I like the interaction where Watts is like, it's 1987. Women can be whatever they want to be. And
Because there was a rumor going around the school.
you're right. There's a rumor going around school, blah, blah, blah. But then my mom's a plumber, and I've got like mad respect for her. I like that too.
Yeah, that's great.
And Keith comes over and he wants to borrow Watts's car because he wants to drive Amanda home from school. So you see Shane and Amanda walking out of the school down some stairs, and Shane is talking, and then you see Shane talking to her friend Holly later on in the movie. They're talking like they're like 35-year-old like housewives.
Yeah.
As if the child determines where the vacations are happening, right? And,
They
they're
look like
walking.
35-year-old housewives.
Well, they do, 100%. And Shane's talking about going to Aspen or to Chile. And then she says, no, I'm going to take you to Aspen. Bitch, you're not taking her anywhere. You're a child.
Supposed to be.
So Keith interrupts this stupid interaction and asks Amanda if he can drive her home. And at first, Amanda's like, "Well, I'm here with Shane. I'm gonna go home with Shane." And Shane just throws her under the bus, right? Shane's like, "No, no. He should absolutely give you a ride home." And he's okay. Oh, I'm gonna go get the car and I'll pull around. And Amanda gets mad at Shane. Thanks a lot. And Shane's, what? This is a great opportunity. There's a great opportunity for you to back out of this. And it's like Shane is telling Amanda what to do without telling her what to do. Right?
Yeah.
So we see Keith. He's trying to start Watts' car, but it's out of gas. Amanda's sick of waiting for him in the front, so she kind of walks over to the side and she sees that he's having trouble with the car. The car won't start. She's like, oh, great. That's great. And she's able to flag down Shane and get into her Suzuki, whatever that was. Does Suzuki still exist?
I think so. They definitely make motorcycles, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they make cars anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They might in other countries, just they may not come to the United States anymore. But Amanda goes and jumps into Shane's car, but she also invites Keith to come with them.
Which was very nice.
It was like, it showed that Amanda isn't a total asshole here, right? And we hear that. Go ahead.
Maybe I saw that scene a little differently because and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Shane says to Amanda, what happened to your dude? And she's, oh yeah, something about the car. And she makes this like, oh, damn it. Like now you're not going to be able to get out of this date sort of like gesture or whatever. And so it was almost like Shane was saying like, you're going to have to offer him a ride because otherwise how are you going to get out of this?
Okay.
Not like Amanda was being nice. It was more like you're going to have to invite him because now we're going to have to figure out how to get you out of this.
Okay. I mean, that's valid. Shane is trying to prompt that conversation on this ride home and asks Keith where he lives, and Amanda explains that it's by her. And Keith kind of picks up on the vibe, right? And he's, do you want to get out of the date? And she's, no, do you? I wouldn't have asked you on the date in the first place if I didn't want to go on the date. And so she completely folds. She cannot be an asshole. Keith comments on Amanda's earrings. She's got some nice, they look like carrot diamond earrings. And she says, "Oh, these are Shane's. I borrowed them from her." And
They're real.
they're real. She says, and they're real. So they drop him off. Shane's a total douche to Amanda. What the hell? And Amanda's, maybe you can do stuff like this, but I can't. And I think she's showing some some level of depth of character here, is that she has, I don't want to say like morals, ethics or something, but
She has
she's not a
feelings.
dick. Right? If anything, she's a romantic. Laura approaches like the drive Shane, like where Shane is in the car, and she was like, "Did you just drop Keith off here?" And then she just says the dumbest shit. And he didn't mention our villa or our apartment in Paris, or shut up, Laura.
Oh, he's so modest.
He's so modest. Then she goes inside and is, "Oh, I just talked to blah, blah, blah." And he starts to beat her up for other things. So now we're back in school and Keith is in the art room. He's always in the art room by himself, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
He's the only art kid in the school.
He's the only art kid in the entire school. And Hardy pays him a visit to the art room and basically tells him that he's done Hardy a favor by asking Amanda out, and that he's been looking for a way out of this relationship for a long time anyway. And that he's a good loser, and he invites Keith to his party on Saturday and totally makes up the fact that he says Amanda's okay with it. Completely makes that up. And Keith, I do appreciate this interaction because Keith does question Hardy. "Yeah, I'm going to question your motives on this. This seems super sus." And how does Hardy say it? Like, "It wouldn't be the weirdest thing if you and I became friends." And Keith's, "Yeah, it would."
Yes.
So then in the next scene, we see Watts, like rage walking herself. She reminds me of my dog who like rage walks around the house. She's like rage walking herself into this like underground club. And first of all, where were all these underground? I take that back. I take that.
Yeah,
I take that back. Okay. I'm like, where were all these underground clubs? Oh, okay. I know where they were. Ernie's. Oh, man. Ernie's. Oh my God.
Where the hell was Ernie's?
That like core memory unlocked.
Yes.
Holy shit. So it was this bar. It was in downtown Cleveland somewhere. Some very old woman ran it.
Was that Mitzi's?
No. No. You had to
So-
knock. You had to knock to get in?
Yes. Yep. I remember going there, but it was Mitzi's.
I swear to God, it was Ernie's.
No,
I went
it
there
was
with
Mitzi's.
Jamie,
And it was like this decrepitly old woman, and they're
Yeah.
like, and the bar had like gunshot holes in the. Yeah, it was called Mitzi's.
Okay. So now, yeah, okay. I'm off the soapbox about where were these clubs.
They existed.
They existed. So this is what I don't understand, because there aren't like cell phones. There aren't these immediate ways to talk to somebody. And she goes in and she's just kind of like pinballing herself through all these people, and then comes upon Keith and is, "What are you doing here? Wait a minute."
Yeah, where was she headed?
This is like a scene. Have either of you seen The Room? Like the worst movie ever made?
Oh, no, but I've heard
No.
about it.
Okay, you're going to need to watch it. But it just sort of reminded me like that. Like it was a rewritten scene where the context just makes no sense. What was she doing? And what is he doing? I'm waiting for Amanda. Does Amanda know you're waiting for her? Is she even coming here? This scene was difficult for me because I just didn't understand it.
Yeah, because there was no discussion about it at all.
Right.
The last conversation that we saw him have with Amanda was not about meeting him at this club. So did he call her? Did she call him? Did they have another conversation that we don't know about?
Right.
How did Watts know that he was there? Like, there was just a lot of questions.
But she acts like she didn't know that he was going to be there, which is weird. So what are you doing here? You're out on a school night, blah, blah, blah. And that he was waiting for someone that he didn't invite there and would never be hanging out there. It was weird. It was just weird.
Yeah, that scene was off. It was off.
There was a point to the scene. It was that Watts is now wanting to distance herself from Keith because she doesn't want to turn into something Keith hates. And that's poetic. Like, I get the intention of it is I'm going to ruin this. And I just don't think we should spend as much time together. And that was that scene. Like, she gets up and she leaves. And so then we see Amanda and one of her friends are trying to go to the girls' locker room. And Hardy is standing there. And he kind of blocks her from going in. Can we talk? Can we talk? And she's like, no. And she goes into the locker room and he follows her. He tries to have a conversation with her, but she's like, she's not having it. She just wants him to go away. And the physical education teacher is like, what the hell is going on here? Get out of here. And he is being super entitled. There's nothing here I haven't seen before. I'm trying to have a conversation. Leave me alone. And so she like drags him out. Amanda throws the ring back at him. Hardy's losing. Next, we see everyone kind of flitting about the mall. And Laura is holding court with some other girls and is basically trying to tell them that because her brother is going out on this date with Amanda Jones, that she's automatically like grandfathered into the group. I think that's the gist of what she's saying. And that she's probably going to Hardy Jen's party on Saturday night, and they're probably going to double date. And they're just calling bullshit on her. Like, you are so full of shit. And Hardy's sitting at the mall with his bros. And they're like, why aren't you hanging out with him since you're just such good friends? And so she does this. She leaves them and she goes and sits adjacent to Hardy and his friends, where she overhears Hardy's plans for Saturday night. And the way she hears it is that everyone's in on this, including Amanda. That it's this big joke to get him to his house so they can all beat him up. And so she runs out of the mall. Friends make fun of her. She rides home and she immediately tells Keith. And you can tell by like her face and that she heard it from himself that it's true, that this is all a joke. I think Keith immediately leaves because it was nighttime, and he leaves and he goes over to Watts's and he tells her she was right. And he has this like Andy moment, right? With Watts that, no, I'm still going to go through with this date.
Because Watts actually warns him back at the scene where he takes the dipstick out of the car. Isn't it that scene where this is all a joke?
I know. That's why he went to her house.
She doesn't really like you.
Yeah. That's why he went to her house, was to tell her she was right.
Right. But I think we missed the part where Watts warns him. Like, no. Watts tells him that it was a joke. And then Laura tells him it was a joke. So Laura was actually backing up the story that Watts told him.
So he, so Watts is, I'm glad you found out now, right? Basically, like this whole thing is over. And he's no, I'm not afraid of Hardy. I'm still going to do this date. And I don't know if I completely, from this point on, completely understand why he does what he does. And maybe after we're done going through the movie, one of you can explain it to me. But he knows it's all fake. So the next day we see Keith kind of run up or approach Amanda, and his demeanor towards her has completely changed, right? And he is, what time should I pick you up on Saturday? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Anytime. Do you need to ask your friends for permission? And that, yeah, anyway, so it's agreed upon that he'll pick her up at 7:30 on Saturday. I remember that because when we were watching it today, Angela was like, 7:30, I'm in bed. And he was like, great, I'll see you. And he leaves. And Amanda turns to go talk to Shane and Holly, and they completely ice her out. They just pretend like she's not there. And they're again talking about vacations as if they are planning them. Like, it's just like, you don't decide these things, your parents do.
Yeah, I mean, unless their parents are so rich that they just allow their teenage kids to go on vacation, like on their own.
I mean, I don't know. So Amanda's walking away from them, and she's walking through like maybe the courtyard of the school, and she's going to leave the school, and she's crying. This is the most dramatic. I can't describe it in words, but she's walking down the steps, and Hardy's sitting outside his Corvette like Steph, right? And he looks at her and he kisses 2 fingers. I don't understand that. I didn't look that up. He kisses 2 fingers, and what
I think that's like a fuck you.
is it?
I think so.
I think so too.
Like a kiss my ass, fuck you kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And she does this really dramatic. I don't know
Super
how to describe it.
dramatized.
It's
What?
like a, oh my God, you're in on this too? Like you planned all this? You turned my friends against me? That kind of look.
But her body is walking, but her head is still looking at him, and she's making
Yeah.
this face, and it's just, oh God, yuck.
Very dramatic.
So next we see Keith and Watts walking, and he has taken out all his money from the bank. They go to the jewelry store. Oh, before he goes to the jewelry store, he does go home, and the dad stops him again because he's discovered that whatever bonds Keith has invested in or whatever have gone up 0.25% or whatever. And that he's made enough money to pay, Keith has made enough money to pay for his first year of college. Just want to be clear on that. Then Keith and Watts go to the jewelry store, and Watts picks out the earrings. It's those. And so Keith buys these fucking earrings for Amanda. And I mean, you've got to know, even 1987, like we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars, right?
Predicted to be $2,500.
Okay, but then I don't get it. Then I don't get how he spent his first year of college money then.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say my first year of college at Cleveland State was maybe 4,000. Being an in-state person.
What, 2000?
2,000, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, fine, maybe.
And I just did a quick Google search to see how much 2-carat total weight, like 1 carat each earrings would be. Like if you bought really good diamond earrings, they range anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000.
And
Now.
Yes, now. So
right.
you figure like back then that does make sense.
Okay. So he spends
they were predicting the earrings to be 500 to 1,000.
Who was?
this website because I was trying to find the actual budget for the movie,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I came across like the budget for this date.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Is it like on a fan site?
Yeah, so it's like the car rental was $250, the chauffeur is $100, the caviar
Okay.
was $300.
Oh,
But what-
The
oh.
Hollywood
If
the
he actually,
Hollywood Bowl was
if he paid
Yeah.
for those things, right?
Yeah, because the
Because
car,
Right.
car was like the owner of the garage. He
Yeah.
had it under that
Right.
tarp.
right, but like the
everything,
Hollywood Bowl $500 an hour.
right? Okay, okay, but that's what I was like. Okay, on this date, because at every location he's gotten some in, right? Even at the
Mhm.
restaurant at L'Hermitage or wherever they were at with the beluga caviar and a bucket of champagne, a
Mhm.
bucket with champagne in it. So these are children.
It was sparkling juice.
We'll go with that.
Sure.
But okay. So anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Keith buys the earrings, and then we see Keith and Watts back at the shop, and Watts is asking Keith how he's going to do all this. What are his plans to go through with this date? And I can't tell if she has ulterior motives to this conversation or not, but she was like, "Do you even know? Basically, do you even know how to kiss a girl?" This is the pivotal scene where they have the practice kiss. That is way more than a practice kiss when we all see it. And then she leaves. She's embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. We'll see it tonight. And then we go into a montage, right? We got to.
Yeah, but Keith is like, "You're blushing.
You're pretty.
No,
you're pretty. Yeah.
What? What?
You're pretty. And everyone's getting ready. The girls are getting ready. Keith's running home from work. I question why that's his only way of getting home from work. And then you see his new friends like Duncan and those guys. I don't even know if they had names. They're all doing sort of various different things. Keith's taking a shower.
I'll have tasks. They have tasks to make this date go
They
forward.
do. But you don't know what they're doing, but you see everyone's kind of doing a thing. And so Keith's taking a shower. You see the toilet gets flushed and tells Keith they need to talk. He knows that Keith's taken the money, and his dad just loses his shit on Keith. You're going to put that back. And Keith, it's my money. I made it. It would have been one thing if Keith would have taken out money that was saved for him, but it was his earned money. And he actually he stands up to his dad. He tells his dad he doesn't plan to go to college, and that he breaks it down to his dad. I'm an outsider. But seems like the dad maybe wasn't. The dad was maybe a jock or something like that. And the dad doesn't realize that Keith's the oddball. And he's like, I thought things were going okay for you. I thought he's like, how can I trust you? Or something like that. He says something like, and he's like, I just want you to believe in me. I just want you to believe it. And he says something like, how can you put a limit on trust? I just thought that was an interesting back and forth. I just thought that was, it's a breakthrough. It's a father-son breakthrough of him being the father being blind to what his son wants, and that, on how parents live vicariously through their kids, right?
Yeah, and I think the only reason why the dad was like okay with it was that Keith was like, I plan to put the money back. Like, I'll put the money back.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not stupid. Like, I'm gonna get this back in there.
And then the dad's, oh, okay, then it's cool.
But I also think the dad like realizes, okay, he's not going to business college. That's not happening. So the next scene, we see this beautiful Rolls Royce, and Watts is the chauffeur, and they pull up to Amanda's house, and the night begins. They pick up Amanda. Amanda's like super blown away by the grandiosity of it, right? Right. They go to Le Hermitage in LA.
You went to France. You should know how to say this.
I know. It's the LE. It's that I can't. Anyway. And
Isn't it la? Like LE would be la.
well, there isn't anything. LE is the male, LA is the female, and this is
Taj. Learn.
Taj. That might be it. They're served beluga caviar and sparkling cider. And they don't get off to a great start. And there's a point where Amanda's we can just go now. Like this doesn't have to continue. And they get through that, and he kind of backs off of her because he's kind of being a jerk, but he's not. It's interesting. And then we see Watts outside in the back or somewhere playing like craps with the valets, which I thought was funny. It was good. And we get back to the dining room scene, and they get their main course, and the main course is a cheeseburger, which, like, it was a moment of levity, right?
Yeah, and she was happy with that.
And she was in the back in a good mood. And as the evening progresses, Watts is getting more and more agitated. And they leave the restaurant and everyone loads in the car, but Watts is kind of being an asshole, and Keith calls her out on it. You didn't have to do this. You volunteered to do this. And so they get in the car, they start driving. They're going to be driving to the next location. And like Amanda's putting on her lipstick, and Watts like slams on the brakes. Hilarity ensues. They get to the next location, and Watts lets Amanda out of the car, and she's break his heart, I break your face. And it was like, oh,
Yes.
that was
classic
kind of like
line.
when I met Tavia, and Angela told me that if I break her heart, she'll kill me. So very similar.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
ever break Tavia's heart.
I guess not. And they're,
I think JK told that to Joe.
oh, good. That's nice.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Nobody said that about me.
Aw, you
I
don't know
might
that.
have I
You
might
might
have
wanna
said that to Jason. I was like 12 at the time, but
That's adorable.
it's valid.
Okay, I'm going to ask him. I'll ask him after the podcast. Oh, actually, maybe he was a little threatened, but I'm not going to say what the backstory is to that on the podcast.
Okay. So they're walking up to a museum, and rightfully, Amanda's, what are we doing? Blah, 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 because this place is hella closed. And this is where we see they go to kind of a back door, and we see Duncan, who is with his dad. And they open the door and they let them in. And it's super cute, and it's just wholesome. And they are walking through the dark museum, and he brings her to a room where the painting he has done of her is hanging on the wall. And they have this moment. And I don't know, I saw the painting as something that showed her as a deeper person than what she's portraying herself to be.
Yeah.
But in
I
this
took
next
it as
scene,
her real emotion.
yeah. And you know, it pans back, or it cuts back to Watts, and she's in the car. She's slowly becoming unhinged. Like, just with each scene, she's getting worse and worse.
Mhm.
And next, they're at the Hollywood Bowl, and they're sitting on the stage of the Hollywood Bowl, and he tries to call her out, right? He tries to call her out on the joke. And this is where I think it goes completely off the rails here, because he's trying to get her to actually admit this is all a joke, which she does not know that, right? And she turns it around on him. Like, because he's like, you're using me. And she's like, aren't you using me? And what's hanging in that museum? Is that my my soul. No, it's my face. I don't know, but something in that interaction, Keith goes, "You're right. And I'm sorry." Like he is, you know what? I think I just looked at you on the surface and didn't really think about it in that sense. And so they both sort of come to a truce, I guess. And then he gives her the earrings. And this was cringe. This was super cringy to me because he says, "Every cent I've ever earned is for you."
Yeah, that I would be a little creeped out on a first date if
Yep.
someone did that.
Yep. Like,
it's like how far back did that go?
right.
That like from the time he was like earning any money, he was saving it all for
basically
Amanda
everything I
Jones?
have in life
Right.
is for you. And that was just super cringe to me. Like, and that's why I said there's a point in this movie where from every point forward, this just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially the earrings. But they sort of have this interaction where she kind of breaks down and she admits hating seeing that her friends get everything they want, but she also hates where she's from and she hates that she kind of sold out, right? And that she didn't need to. Keith didn't sell himself out. He's always stayed true to who he is. And she's like, "Can't keep these earrings." And he's, "Nope, these are for you." And that's what I just don't understand. He knows that she's not going to be, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just not understanding something. But Keith tells her she doesn't have to continue that way. She doesn't have to stay that way. And they kiss. They go back to the car, and this time they're hand in hand, right?
And Watts sees the kiss.
She does see the kiss. That was her problem. She went in there to watch. That's on her.
She did.
But she does walk out after they do kiss. And she's decided they're like, what? Sorry. So Keith and Amanda come out of the Hollywood Bowl and they're holding hands and they're happy. And Watts is like, "What's next?" And he says, "Hardee's." And she goes, "If that's what you're doing, you're on your own." And even Amanda's, we shouldn't go there. We should not go there. And he says, I know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid of him. I know what I'm doing. There seems to be this moment of solidarity between Watts and Amanda. And so she drives them to Hardy's house and they arrive. And as soon as they kind of get into the foyer, not Ian Ziering goes and runs to Hardy to tell him that they've arrived. And so Hardy goes out to the foyer to greet them, basically, but immediately goes in on the attack. And it's on Amanda, right? You know, did she do you? She's trash, blah, blah, blah. And Keith is the one that initiates the fight. He's the one that attacks Keith. But Keith is a tiny little baby, and he has his guys pull him off, and he wants his guys to take him outside and beat the shit out of him. And Keith's, "No, you and me, let's go." He's like, "I can't, I'm entertaining."
Pop out.
And Amanda tries to appease the situation. "You want me back? I'm back. Just let him go. Just let him go." And "You're going to have to beg. You're going to have to beg for it." And at that moment, Duncan and all his friends come into the party. And Duncan's, "Yeah, I don't think any of that's going to happen." And the entire mood shifts, right? And the guys let
This was
go.
a scene I didn't see coming. I didn't see Duncan and crew showing up to save the day.
I mean, because like in the montage, you saw that Duncan and crew were doing something
Right.
in the music montage. You didn't know to the extent of what. But no, it is a surprise moment in the movie, right? That this group of guys have been, this was planned, right? That Keith planned this with these guys, right?
Mm.
And the guys let go of Keith, and Amanda says something, but she ends up going up to Keith and she like slaps him in the face twice. And it just didn't hit right. Not no pun intended. Like it just fell flat for me. I just wish it was a little bit more dramatic than it was. But they leave. Keith and Amanda leave the party, and she's exhilarated, and she's stood up for herself. And there's this moment where everything just kind of slows to a stop. And Keith's looking at Watts, and Watts is looking at Keith, and Amanda is looking at Watts. And it all just comes full circle, right? And Watts says, "That was great. I saw it from here." There's no way you saw it from there because they were standing in the foyer with a full wood door. You didn't see shit. But anyway, who am I to say? And she's just, "I'm out." And she does say to Amanda, "I underestimated you and I apologize," which is nice. And she says, "I'm going to walk home. You guys can take it from here." And so she leaves. And you can kind of tell in Keith's face, or at least Amanda can tell. And she goes back to a conversation they had earlier at the Hollywood Bowl about being someone for all the wrong reasons, blah, blah, blah. And she switches her opinion, right? That she'd rather be right than alone. Like earlier, she said she couldn't stand being alone. But now I'd rather be right because I think I'm going to be okay standing alone. And she gives the earrings back to Keith. Basically, it's the Ducky moment where if you don't go after him, so it's that moment where it's okay, Keith, go get your girl.
Yeah, and doesn't she say these belong to somebody else? Or
Yeah,
like,
yeah. She says something along those lines that like, yeah, these are meant for her. And so what we see Watts walking down the street in the middle of the street, just kind of crying, and Keith runs after her and stops her, and they kiss. And he kind of plays, I don't know, I don't understand it, where he's like, "Why didn't you ever tell me?" And she's like, "Because you never asked." And I don't know, I'm reading way too much into an 80s fucking teen comedy romance. And anyway, he gives her the earrings, and she was like, "I wanted these. I really wanted these." And he tells her that she looks great wearing his future and scene
Where are they walking to? Because they're walking opposite of the car.
car that they need to go back and get.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you were supposed to turn around. Like the logistics of this just really irk me.
maybe we missed the part where they turn around. Like they cut it off too early. They were just taking a wide U-turn.
They were taking a wide U-turn.
Maybe.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that ending scene where they're walking down the street, I have always said, turn around. You're going the wrong way.
Maybe the camera did turn around and they were walking the right way.
Maybe. And
I don't
then are
think
they
so. I
just
don't
gonna
think
take
so.
Amanda
I think-
home?
I think they were.
I don't
Oh, right. How's Amanda?
I don't
getting
see him.
home?
Yeah, I don't see Amanda going back into the party and then they just ditch her there.
Maybe she
Like,
could
wait.
walk home.
Where's
That's
Amanda?
got to be a far walk because they're in like the mansion part of.
Unless Amanda's going to take the Rolls Royce.
That's what I thought too. It's like keys are in the car. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe she
Oh,
just took
boy.
off.
Shit, I
Wow.
might have taken it.
She wanted to go pick up Carolyn from 16 Candles, who's trapped at the church still.
All right.
So the tomato meter gave this a 76%.
Which
I-
actually surprised me.
Me too.
I thought for
And-
sure that they were going to rate it like super low.
Yeah, like I was predicting maybe 55.
Yeah. And
yeah,
it's
this
certified
was
fresh.
It's the
Yeah.
same exact thing that Pretty in Pink got. Pretty in Pink got 76 too.
Whoa.
76 and
what
81.
did it get for the popcorn meter? This got 80%.
81.
Dang.
Mm.
So
I mean, it is the same.
it is the same
story.
movie.
Well, Roger Ebert, our wonderful buddy, he
Bestie.
praised the film. Wow. He gave it 3 stars out of 4 and wrote how he admired its clever re-examination of a common film trope. The film is not about whether the hero will get the girl. It is about whether the hero should get the girl. And when was the last time you saw a movie that even knew that it could be the question?
Whoa. Deep, man.
That is
Man.
deep.
And he gave Pretty in Pink also 3 out of 4.
Again,
I
same
want to
movie.
wait. And when was the last time you
And
saw a movie
Jan-
that even knew that could be the question? I don't understand that.
He's saying like most movies are like the hero gets the girl. But they're saying in this movie, he's saying, but does the hero deserve the girl? Is more like what he's saying. Okay, so
Right.
but when was the last time you actually saw a movie where they actually went deeper than the hero got the girl?
Okay.
Right.
Carry on.
One thing to get the girl, but should you get the girl? So Janet Maslin of the New York Times stated that Some Kind of Wonderful is the much improved, recycled version of the Pretty in Pink story. No shit, Janet.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Janet.
Captain
Yeah.
Obvious. It is a
Yeah.
much improved. I want to say that this storyline resonates a lot more than Pretty in Pink's
Yes.
storyline.
Yes, absolutely.
And I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
I don't
And
want
she
you to
done-
die on a hill.
Okay. Thank you.
No.
You're welcome.
And Richard Scheichel of Time criticized the film for being unrealistic. Masterson's look and performance were singled out for praise by several critics. I don't think she was unrealistic, but
The film.
whatever, Richard.
Film was unrealistic. I think the
Oh,
film
yeah,
was
yeah.
unreal. It wasn't any more unrealistic than 16 Candles or Breakfast
Or
Club
any other 80s movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
that's why they're movies. They're not documentaries.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of at not really on the cringe meter. They're like the high end of not really quite at kinda. Like, yeah, I don't there wasn't much in this movie that I was like, whoa, somebody shouldn't watch this again. Or Pretty in Pink, where it's, oh, maybe don't watch this. So I'm rating it not really. And I would absolutely watch it again on a Saturday. Absolutely. It's a good, solid film. Is it Hall of Fame worthy? I don't think so. No, but I think it's a good, solid film.
Lovely. I am also going to give it a high not really. I've always loved this film. Love the storyline. The only thing that gives me mild cringes is the objectification of women
Yeah.
and as we have seen, the repeated bathroom scenes of looking at high school girls up and down in their underwear.
Yeah.
Like enough is enough already, dude. Yeah, I would definitely watch it on a Saturday. And I feel like there was one more kind of the whole lesbian calling out
Yeah. Yeah.
with Duncan, but did it age well? Yeah, you wouldn't see it in movies today because people think you're a lesbian, okay, but
Right.
whatever. So yeah, but just with that and the naked teenagers that are actually in their mid-20s, no, yeah, it's a high end of the not really,
Okay.
and I would definitely watch it.
J9.
All right, so I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say kinda.
Okay.
And the reason why, I'll go down a list. Okay, Hardy Jen's number one. He is super cringe with his gaslighting, with his cheating, with the way that he talks to Amanda and makes it seem like he's God's gift to women. The fact that the dad is unbelievably pushy onto Keith about his future and living vicariously through his son. I think, and I guess this is maybe a touchy subject, I love Keith, except I don't understand why if he decided to go through with the date, great. Why he decided to buy those earrings for Amanda, knowing that, or at least thinking that, this date was a joke. And she could have accepted those earrings and kept them and been like, haha, it was a joke, and kept all the money that he ever worked for. Which is like, why did he decide to do that? The fact that Amanda is like hitting on the principal or the teacher, and he's like into it. And there's just some parts that you're like, yeah, it's kind of a little bit. I mean, I'm really like between the not really and kinda, but I have to give it a kinda. I think it aged well. I mean, yes, this kind of stuff did happen in the 80s, and I don't think there's anything that I go, yikes, yeah, people shouldn't watch this. It's a cute movie. Am I gonna watch it again? Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't say that I've watched it in a long time because I felt like I knew the movie. But again, like we've touched on this before, is that you watch things as a teenager and it hits differently than when you're a 40s lady. We see things differently because we're more experienced with significant others and, you know, what red flags are, and we see things completely differently. So, yeah, I will rewatch it, but there are some parts that I find kind of creepy and cringy.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And that wraps up our deep dive into Some Kind of Wonderful, a movie that reminds us that love is complicated, friendships are fragile, and sometimes the person who's been there all along is the love of your life.
We witness love, heartbreak, and the kind of emotional roller coaster only the 80s could package with a pop soundtrack and a predictable ending. But love triumphed after exhausting everyone involved.
Thanks for joining us at the Shermer High Alumni Association. If you had as much fun as we did, hit follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow 80s movie lovers. Until next time, be kind and don't forget to rewind. Bye.
Bye.